Hey guys, welcome to the first ever episode of Smoke Sessions with Sarge. I'm really happy to finally get this going. I've been thinking about this project for about 6, 7 months now. If you're friends with me on Facebook, you've probably seen some of the teasers. If you follow Smoke Sessions with Sarge on Instagram, you may have followed some of the links from there. I'm really happy for the views I've gotten so far on those little short clips. I'm excited to get this moving along and hope to build this as we go. So what this is, just get it out off the bat. This is going to be more of a lifestyle, life lesson learn blog while enjoying cigars. As I started going down the rabbit hole of cigar reviews over COVID, I realized there's a lot of guys that talk about cigars and teach about cigars and teach about all sorts of parts of the cigar lifestyle. But I didn't find anybody that talked about, to me, what was the most important thing I've gotten out of this, which was the mentorship and storytelling that always comes. When you get a bunch of people sitting around and they're smoking cigars for 2, 3 hours, everybody always kind of starts talking about their lives, what they did, how they do it, and life lessons get shared, mentorships get built, and we all get to grow from each other. I want to be able to bring that to YouTube, especially at this time in the world where not everybody has that opportunity. They don't live somewhere with a lounge. They don't have the ability to go hang out with people. For whatever reason, they can't have that same experience that I had. I want to be able to bring that, put it here on the internet for everybody to be able to see, with the intent of eventually getting to a point that I'm going to have guests come in and can take it past just my stupid stories and the dumb things I've done. So to kick this off, no better way than to go back to the beginning with the first cigar I ever purchased, which was an Avo. It was 20 years ago. I've been hitting the head a lot. I've been blown up once or twice. My memory is not as good as it once was, so I can't tell you if it was an Avo Classic, which is what I was smoking today. But I know for certain it was an Avo, and I still have the ring. So at 17, I pull up to the cigar shop, driving a tow truck, hoping that just like the liquor stores, nobody ever cards me because they think if I'm driving a tow truck, I definitely have to be an adult. I go inside and I tell the guy, I want to impress the old guys I've been smoking cigars with. I've only got a little bit of money and no experience. And he pulls out an Avo and he says, bro, this is going to be the best cigar you ever buy for the price. And it's going to make you look like a professional in front of other smokers, which is all I was after at that point. I didn't want to get picked on for smoking. Oh, it was probably Dutch Brothers or something like that at the time anymore. And I wanted to fit in. So I went ahead, bought the cigar, went and sat down and lit it. And let me tell you, Avo cigars is something that really brought me into the fold. They're a beautiful cigar. They're made by Davidoff. This particular one, the Avo Classic, is a Connecticut shade wrapper with Dominican Cuban seed filler, longleaf filler. It's aged, the tobacco in it is aged up to 25 years. If you don't understand what the aging process in tobacco is, it's both the fermentation and then letting it sit over a long period of time so that different tobaccos in it can meld and share their flavors. But also it allows some of the off-gassing and stuff to occur so you don't end up with as much ammonia and stuff like that built up into them. So on the first look of this is a beautiful light brown, well constructed. There's no soft spots through it. It's full, beautiful build all the way through. On smell, you get that beautiful tobacco smell with a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of pepper. First taste is just a very mild tobacco. First draw, actually a little bit of apple, smooth draw all the way through. This really is a beautiful cigar from start to finish. Lights very well, great smoke production from the start. I knew I was going to get that. When you buy anything from Avo, really anything from Davidoff, it's going to be a well-constructed, very consistent cigar. So we're getting just the normal tobacco salad, a little bit of vanilla. It's very creamy even on startup. When I say creamy, to me, that's the way it kind of envelopes your tongue. It's kind of smooth, a little bit sweet. You don't always get that with lighter cigars. I've noticed with Avo though, I don't think I've had many that I wouldn't describe as creamy. Normally, to me, I'd get creamy cigars off of darker cigars like Maduros. So it's kind of nice to get that off of a lighter cigar, from my personal experience. That's not going to be with everybody. Everybody you talk to in the cigar world, they're going to describe things a certain way. Cigar experts say it. I just kind of go off of what I feel. There's 100 guys out there that have a lot better palate than I do and able to describe it. That's not what we're here for, right? We're here to kind of talk about these life lessons and these stories. So Smoke Sessions with Sarge, the name came about as I was thinking about the best way to deal with this. How am I going to tell these stories? So in the Army, a smoke session, or in the military in general, when you hear somebody say they had a smoke session or they were smoked, generally means you kind of screwed up a whole lot or a little bit. It's not enough to do paperwork, but whoever's in charge of you wants to make sure you'll never do that again, or you'll be less likely to do it again. And it's all sorts of different physical exercises of whatever that guy who's pissed off at the time can think of. You can do push-ups, leg lifts, flutter kicks, to doing dumb shit like Spider-Man, the Little Man in the Woods. You've never seen a Little Man in the Woods. Try to find it on YouTube. You look ridiculous doing it. It hurts. It makes you not want to do stuff again. So going back to my first experience in the Army, basic training. Everybody goes to basic training, no matter what branch of the military they're in, some way, shape, or form. Some calls it boot camp. And the first mentor you will receive in the Army is this beautiful individual known as a drill sergeant. They're angry and pissed off all the time because they got to work stupid long hours, and they've got to deal with a bunch of children that are supposedly adults and turn them into men and women that are going to do great things for our nation. So we're in processing, we're doing everything. We've already met the drill sergeants a couple times. I already had the shit smoked out of us a couple times. And we're all lined up, day one, and he goes, which one of you guys thinks you're a high-speed leader? Who thinks they can take charge? First thing I've been told, always, you never volunteer for shit. The minute you volunteer for something, you raise your hand, you're stuck doing something stupid. Well, my ego pops in, and I go, hey, guess what, bro? I got this. I'm 21, I'm older than everybody else in the platoon, I've been around a minute, I've ran my own business, yada, yada, yada. I can do this. I can be a leader. I raise my hand, he starts chuckling. He goes, all right, high speed, it's your fucking platoon. Anything they screw up is on you, and this is how it's going to go. So for the first 3 weeks, I was the platoon guide, platoon sergeant. I can't remember the exact term we used. And I was responsible for getting our group of 30 dudes up every morning in the right uniform at the right place to go conduct training. Whenever they screwed up, I got smoked with them, and then I got smoked after them for not having my guys doing the right thing, whether it was my fault or not. We had a couple guys, you couldn't have saved them. And then what started happening about 3 days in, from like 7 o'clock to 9ish, we had time to ourselves to take showers, write letter home, and just kind of decompress from the day. And he'd call me into his office, Drill Sergeant Ray. I'll never forget the dude, all of like 5'5", pissed off at the world. And he would just start smoking the shit out of me. Put me on his office floor, and I'd just start doing different exercises. And I didn't realize it at the time. I think it was like a year or two later when it dawned on me. While he was smoking me, he was talking to me about events from that day. How did I talk to the soldiers? How did I do my inspections? What I could have done better? How to handle it better? And that's getting to the name. Smoke Sessions with Sarge was my first experience in the Army of mentorship and one-on-one time with a leader that cared about bringing me up and making me better. And I really appreciate the time he took. He didn't have to do that. He couldn't have cared. He could have let me just screw it up, replace me with somebody else. But the only way I learned later he could have had that one-on-one time with me was by making it a smoke session. Because if not, it would have been breaking some of the rules and regulations that revolve around being a drill sergeant and relationships with the privates. So 2/3 of a cigar later and 17 years later, I want to say thanks to Drill Sergeant Ray, wherever you're at in the world now, for helping to make me a better person. and giving me the inspiration for this channel. Guys, there's going to be lots more stories about the military. Unfortunately, for myself and you guys that want to stick around, that's the majority of my adult experience. I'm going to tell some of the stories that I got from my mentors as we move this forward. I really want to say thank you to everybody who's watched so far and continue to watch. Moving in the last 2/3 of the Ssws, it is a delicious cigar. I really recommend giving them a try if you haven't yet. The vanilla has just gotten stronger in it. It's still a very light cigar. It's not overpowering. It doesn't have such a strong flavor that I think it'll make you sick if you're new to cigars, but it still has a lot of depth in it. One of the problems I have with lighter cigars and why I don't smoke lighter cigars a lot anymore is I feel like they're very one-noted. They're just very kind of bland to me. That's not something I'm getting from this. Like, 2/3 of the way done. Still a lot of fruit, a little bit of vanilla flavor, just a slight pepper on the back of the tongue. It smokes like a really dark Ligero or Maduro cigar with the intensity of the flavor without that really thick, oily, strong nicotine that really makes a lot of people not enjoy cigars or makes them sick the first time they smoke cigars. That's it. And that's the first episode. Drop comments in the bottom. Let me know if there's something you want to see me smoke, if there's something you want to know about or hear about. I'll try to facilitate that. Go ahead and like and subscribe on YouTube. Head over to my Instagram page. I'll drop it down in the comments at SSW Sarge. I try to do daily updates or photos on there, different cigar stuff. I want to say thank you to all the different Facebook pages that's allowed me to post and connect on there. UK Cigar Lounge with Peter Jenkoff, Matthew Lapointe with, or Chris Lapointe, excuse me, with Not Gentlemen Cigar Club, and Ash Holes in Carolina. Thanks, guys, for all the support you've given me and everybody who's clicked over from that. I will get better with time, I promise. I know this one drug on a little bit. Next week, I'm gonna be smoking a Coral Maduro and talking about how we present ourselves to the world using cigar shaming as the example. So I hope to see some more likes next week. Thank you everybody for supporting so far.